If you're a heat and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, how do you thrive in an economic downturn and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Silverman, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a fantastic day to talk about you. Okay, so we are going to start with video number 1 here. I'm going to give you a heads up. From the outline, this is going to be about 12 to 15-ish minutes, but super importante for you when there's ups and downs and financial uncertainty in the markets. And it doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter what you do. When I coach and work with salespeople, entrepreneurs, offer owners, business owners, doctors, professionals, these conversations happen. And it's the same conversation. And so it really doesn't matter your position, your role, what you do. These topics come up and they either get danced around or we just straight out have the conversation once we figure out what the situation is, okay? So first and foremost, you must acquire mental toughness. Mental toughness is an absolute must. And so the thing is like when you go to school, when you go to high school, and even when you go to college, unless you're in sports, most people don't ever talk to you about mental toughness. They just say, hey, fight through it. It's like a magic answer. Hey, just fight through it. And so I'm going to give you my view of what mental toughness is. I'm going to share with you how I would work through a situation or a concern or what's going on. And I will give you my ideas. It doesn't mean they're going to be your ideas. So for me, I have this like, hey, look, the outlook for me is everything's going to be okay. There may be some bumps and bruises, some scrapes, but everything's going to be okay. If I get a boo-boo, I'll go see the doctor. Like, this is what I'm thinking all day, every day. Things are tough. It's a bump or a scrape. If it's a really big boo-boo, going to the doctor means calling a therapist or calling a coach or a mentor that I have on speed dial to say, I broke something, okay? That's my fix. Number 2, I'm going to keep going and everybody else is going to quit. Freaking thank goodness. Like, everybody around me, my competition, they're going to quit. They're going to call it quits in whatever way that they do it. They're going to take their marbles and go home. Yay, me. Once again, my version, not your version. And so I got a couple of books for you to pick up. One is 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class by Steve Seibold. 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. This book 10 years ago was $200. When I bought this book, I want to say I paid $175 for it. On Amazon, it's all at $20. It's a picture of a dude standing in a suit, blue cover, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. Second author I'm going to share with you, Ryan Holiday. Guy's got all sorts of books about stoicism, right? So if you're like, hey, Scott, I want to go drive and listen to books while I drive through my Audible account, content from Ryan Holiday or Steve Seibold, if you can find it, cost you a couple of bucks, will definitely help you out. Now, when it comes to sales and entrepreneurship, it's all about leadership. You are leading the people around you. You are leading your clients. You are leading your potential clients. You are leading the people around you, especially if you are closing a bunch of deals, okay? Now, let's talk about the market. The market in finance has natural curves, ups and downs, ups and downs. And when times are good, people are like, whoa, let's go spend some money. Cool. When times are bad, they're like, the sky is falling, right? And then they scream it again, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, right? It is what it is. You can make up money in the up market, you can make money in the down market, and they're normal, big and small. It could be a huge crash, people are making money. It could be a huge up, people are making money. There's people playing both sides of the fence, right? And so sometimes in the market, there's people who want you to have fear so they can buy at a better price. Be aware that you could be being played. Like if somebody pulled you aside and said, hey, I know you're at this party and you're interested in that significant person that over there that you think is super attractive. They're kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy. And you're like, oh, thanks for the insider tip. Same thing happens with the marketplace, right? There's people pumping fear so they can buy at a better price, but they're not telling you that. They're like, you should be scared, right? But nobody tells you this. Nobody pulls you aside and goes, hey, this is the game that's going on, okay? You want to respond and not react. You want to live life on your own terms. I want to live life on my own terms. People come to me like, Scott, the sky is falling. I'm like, cool, can I buy a piece of it? Is any of it for sale? Because if it's for sale, it's at a discount. And if it's at a discount, I'm probably buying. So just fix and flip what's going on to keep the mental toughness. We started with mental toughness for a reason. Right? Make your game plan now. I don't like to play other people's games. I don't like it when I'm like, oh, I just found out I'm playing somebody else's game. I don't like that. I like to say I'm living my life on my terms, my way of doing it, because when there's ups and downs, you could be playing on somebody else's terms. So be willing to put in the work that others won't. Tonight, I could be home. I could be doing a million other things, but you know what I'm doing? I'm shooting content because it's super importante for the people who follow me. It's super importante for the people who could be following me, and everybody else is sleeping. They're in free fall panic mode, and I'm like, game on. I'm living my advice, right? Not to be like, hey, I'm so great. Hey, there's things that I suck at. I am not the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I do love tacos, okay? You want your momentum where other people lose it. Like right now, today, your competition is losing their momentum, and you should be like, yes, yes. And you do this by creating your list. What is your list of things to do? Like 5 to 7 things. It doesn't have to be a million. You'll never get them done. What are your 5 to 7 things? Like mine is daily outreach. Mine is checking in on my clients. Mine is reaching out and trying to find more clients. And when the market turns down, you know what? I double down. I'm like, hey, if you're in panic, you need my help. If you're doing good, you need my help. But if you're in panic, you really need my help. Like, think of how to take what you do and flip it. Whatever your product is, whatever your service is like, when things are good, you need it. But when things are bad, you really need me. That's the mindset that I need you to have, okay? So create your daily list. What is it you got to do? Every time that something bad happens in the marketplace and the people are like, the sky is falling, I think of Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is one of the greatest Olympic athletes. And he tells a story. I may butcher it. Get over it. Michael Phelps was on a station. They're like, hey, you practice every day, a news station. And he said, yeah, because here's the thing. In swimming, people will swim and practice from Monday through Friday. If I swim on Saturday and practice on Saturday, I'm 1 day ahead. If I practice on Sunday, I'm 2 days ahead. And he goes, that person is going to have to start over, so they're a day behind. So it's not just 1 and 1 equals 2, it's 1 and 1 equals 3. So he goes through this whole math process of explaining by him practicing every day like he did for 6 years, Christmas, holidays, birthdays, everything, he was years ahead of the competition. It wasn't just days anymore. It started compounding quickly, weeks, months, years, and it was evident by the way that he won Olympic gold medals, okay? So the news sells fear. The news' job is to sell fear and get you freaked out and get you upset and get you worried. My job is to say, you don't have to participate. And there are multiple people who said this in multiple different ways. I want to start with Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins. They've both come out and said, you don't have to participate in a downfall in the market. They're normal. 2 years ago, within 24 hours, I was hanging out face-to-face with Roland Frazier. The next day, I was hanging out with Jay Abraham. And I asked him, I said, hey, there's fears in the market. And Roland Frazier kind of laughed and smiled at me. He was like, Scott, there's always fear in the market. It's what you decide to make of it. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Then the very next day, I'm hanging out with Jay Abraham, and I'm like, Jay, what's going on in your mind about the fears of the market? He's like, hey, market's up, I make money. Market's down, I make money. It's what you make of it. I want you to adopt this feeling and this belief for a very specific reason. Because it's the key to your success. When everybody else is in panic, you've got to be certain. So how do you do that? You're like, Scott, how do I do that? Well, first, what you do is you go to this URL above my head. It's an email publication. Join it. It's how you get content from me. It's an email publication. You get emails from me. I may make you an offer. I may, hey, buy some stuff. It'll be cool. You're going to love it. Okay. How you get there? You listen to good content that you have control over. I'm going to share with you my tap out. So there's times where I'm listening to something on YouTube. There's times where I'm listening to content from other people and they go super negative. And I literally go, time out. This isn't helping me. And I change the channel. Right? I make that audible. Time out. I literally go, just do it with me. Time out. Because you've got to say, hey, this isn't helping me. Like, I really need to move forward. This could be podcasts. This could be music. This could be content about things you find interesting. Things that I find interesting. History. Philosophy. Business growth. There's tons of stuff that I find super interesting that isn't negative. Listen to stand-up comedy. You have a list of what you think is funny. I have a list of what I think is funny. And when I struggle, I'm like, where's my stand-up comedy list? I got some Jimmy Norton in there. I got some Dave Attell. I got some Joey Coco, right? I got some Jim Rogan. I got some Joe Rogan. I got some Bert Kreischer. I got, you just go down the list. Find who you think is funny and pay attention. Like the old school Chris Rock from like the late 90s. Oh my goodness. Chris Rock. Yeah, right? Keep a DVD list. I have like this whole series of DVDs of inspirational movies, right? Like, and a lot of them have to do with sports because most of the inspirational movies have to do with sports, but they don't have to be for you. Pick like 5, 10, 15 movies that you're like, hey, this is inspirational content. It's about people overcoming odds. That's what I'm going to watch. I'm not going to watch the news. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to play those games. Listen to music that makes you happy. Hawaiian reggae makes me happy. I love some Hawaiian reggae. If you're like, hey, Scott, where do I find some Hawaiian reggae? Island 98.5. It's an iHeart station. You can stream it, right? They've got all sorts of Common Kings, Maoli, like you name it. I listen to opera. I listen to classical music. I listen to hip hop from the 90s and the 2000s. I don't understand mumble rap. I'm an old man. Get over it, okay? Stay away from negative people and negative drama. If I look at my phone and it's ringing and I'm like, this is going to be a drama story, like straight to voicemail. Hey, can I call you later? Can I text you later after hours when you're not trying to take me off track? Can I talk to you? Is it an emergency? Is it hair on fire? And if it's not answering the phone, right? Stay away from the news. 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 I'm going to say it as many times as I can. The news is meant to drag you down. If you participate, if you go down this path, it'll drag you down, okay? I'm not saying don't stay on topic, but man, I wouldn't dwell on it. I would not. You got to live off a routine. What's your routine? Me, I tend to get up at 5:30 every morning. I get up and I drink a glass of water. It's the one thing I have control over. 99% of the time I make my bed. Occasionally I forget, right? Occasionally I'm like, I got to get to the office. Go to a workout. Get your routine on. Get your gym hours in. And drink lots of water. Drink lots of water, okay? So I don't know what your vices are. My vices are tacos. My vices are beef. I'm allergic to alcohol, so like we have this conversation. It's not going to do anything good for me. Hey, Scott, let's go get a beer. I'm allergic to beer. Hey, Scott, let's go get some wine. Sorry, I'm allergic to fermented food. Can't do it, right? Like you have your vices. I love tacos. Al pastor, that's Spanish for really good if you didn't know, okay? And tell the people around you that you love them. It could come down to that you reach out to some significant other and you're like, hey, I just want to let you know that I love you. It could be a family member. Hey, just want to let you know I love you, right? It's not the stories that you like, hey, when somebody passes away, I wish I would have had more time to watch TV with them. It's probably I wish I would have told them I love them more. Spend some time with nature, with your kids, with your pets. I lost my bird. She was my buddy. I had her for 15 years. Her name was Kai. She was an African gray. I lost her in March of 2024, right? And I had routines with her. So like sometimes I'll go home and I'll whistle and I'm like, shh, my bird's not around, okay? Spend time with your kids, your family, your pets. Tell people you love them and look for things that inspire you. What inspires me may not inspire you. I love the ocean. The ocean inspires me. Big open spaces inspire me. The horizon, like if I'm driving to the beach and it's like in an elevated position, think of like driving into Kona, big island of Hawaii. You can see the whole freaking horizon. You can see the Maui. It's amazing. Good. Driving from the North Shore into Wailua as it drops down to Haleiwa, right? My version's not going to be your version. But what you need to know is if you are going to stay on top while the world is burning, you have to have a different game plan than everybody else. You can't play the same game plan. You can't play from the same playbook. I outlined like 18 different ways for you to stay on top. Pick and choose the ones that you like. But here's the thing. Stay as far away from negative people as you can. Stay away from as much drama as you can. And you, my friend, will get further faster. You got one of 3 things to do from here. Just one of 3. Find the subscribe button. Click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, hey, for real, on this video, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.